You know, MSLSD and Joe Scarborough. Joe Scarborough. Can anybody think of anything this man has ever accomplished? Anything? He's got his lovely partner there, Mika Brzezinski, if that is her name, a.k.a. the Ed McMahon of the show. But Scarborough is a very odd person. He's a fool, actually. There's a time when he couldn't get enough of Donald Trump. You remember that first speech Donald Trump gave in a joint congressional speech? And apparently Scarborough met the president beforehand in the Oval Office, and he was jumping up and down like a clapping seal. And then he went sideways with Trump, and now, of course, he's the favorite host of the North Korean generals. But he's truly a dumb guy, in my humble opinion. And I say that with all due respect. The only person dumber on that panel is his soon-to-be wife, Mika. So, Vice President Pence does an interview with Andrea Mitchell. Whoever advised him to do that, I think it was a big mistake. Andrea Mitchell is not a reporter. She's a leftist. And Andrea Mitchell, brings up the investigation, and Pence says, I think it's time to get that behind us. Time to wrap it up. And the media, being on the side of the prosecutor, being on the side of the Democrats, is very upset about this. And by the way, may I digress a minute? All day long, on network news, on cable news, all day long, we're hearing about the staff at the White House who said something very nasty, no question about it, about John McCain. All day long. They can't just report it and move on. Now, I have to say, what John McCain's going through, I don't wish on anybody except the terrorists and so forth. And I'm sure his family is suffering. But John McCain's out there throwing barbs in his writings and so forth at Palin, at Trump, and other people. And I don't get it, quite frankly. That doesn't excuse what the staffer said. But they don't really care about the staff at the White House. They're just trying to trash Trump. Trump didn't say it, but it doesn't matter. All day long it's been going on. This network crap news that I have to listen to, same thing. All right, back to Joe Scarborough. Do you know he has no audience? My Sunday show has more viewers than his primetime show. So he wants to trash the vice president now, Mike Pence. Cut 2, go.
I think it's a fair time to start asking this question.
Yes, Joe.
What did Mike Pence know?
Well, here's the question. What happened to your nose? What's with the W.C. Fields nose? That's the kind of nose heavy drinkers have, like Chris Matthews used to have. So I hear. I don't know for a fact, of course. Allegedly. Let's start from the top. Go ahead.
I think it's a fair time to start asking this question.
Yeah, what?
What did Mike Pence know, and when did he know it?
Wow. Joe. No wonder you've reached such heights of your profession at MSLSD. Nobody's smarter on that network. Maybe Al Sharpton. I'd give him. Joe's behind Al. Go ahead.
Mike Pence is an honorable man. Mike Pence says...
But you're not, you screwball. You're not an honorable man by any measure. However you self-identify. Go ahead.
Lied to him. Really? Did he? Is this why Mike Pence wants this investigation to begin and then end prematurely?
No, now he's a conspiracy nutjob. Go ahead.
Before we get the truth to all the questions, we're finding out...
What are all the questions, Joe? What are all the questions, Joe, that you want the answer and the truth to, Joe? Does anybody think that if Joe Scarborough had his life examined like this, that he'd come out well? Anybody think so? How many skeletons do you have in your closet, Joe? I'll bet you have a whole lot. Maybe they don't investigate your finances and your background the way the Washington Post today seeks to investigate Sean Hannity's. I've never seen anything like this. We have media outlets investigating the private business investments of a host on Fox. Has anybody else been treated this way? Even the sexual predators on the networks? Anybody else? Has the Washington Post done an investigation of their owner, Mr. Bezos, Bozo the Bezos? Because Bozo the Bezos, I hear he's got sweatshops going on, people are on food stamps and so on. They don't care about that. That's their employer who pays them with that money. But do we get to do anal exam? Not me personally, of course. Anal exams of Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, and maybe Chris Matthews in his past. People like that. Go ahead.
Russian oligarchs may have had money funneled to them.
You're such a pig. You're such a lying propagandist. You really are. You're a grotesque disgrace. Throwing stuff out like that you know to be false. But then again, that's why you're loved over there at MSLSD.